What if the date that made you throw out food this week was not an expiration date at all? Not on the cereal, not on the pasta, maybe not even on the yogurt. In America, a lot of the labels people treat like safety warnings are not federally standardized danger lines in the first place. We all do the same ritual. Open the fridge, check the stamp, make a snap decision, toss it, move on. But here's the weird part. The United States never gave shoppers one clean, universal dictionary for phrases like best buy, sell by, and use by. Different words, different products, different assumptions. And later in this video, you will see the clearest sign yet that even regulators know one of these labels got way too confusing. Most of America's date labels are quality signals, not safety deadlines. And that misunderstanding quietly turns normal groceries into unnecessary waste. Start with the labels themselves. Best if used by is the phrase the Food and Drug Administration supports for telling you when a product should be at its best flavor and quality, not the moment it becomes dangerous. Sell by is basically a store-facing stock rotation tool. And use by, which sounds like a legal deadline, still is not backed by one uniform federal meaning across packaged foods. The big federal exception is infant formula, which must carry a required use by date because it has to meet nutrient and quality standards through that date. So the label that feels the most official is often the least understood. And that is where the blame gets messy. Companies often choose the wording and date on their own, usually to flag when taste, texture, or quality may start slipping. Stores still need date systems for inventory and shelf rotation. Consumers see a stamped date and read it like a countdown timer. Regulators, meanwhile, have allowed a patchwork of different phrases to keep circulating. This is not a cartoon villain story. It is a system where every player has a reason, and the combined result is confusion. There is another part people miss. Pantry food and perishable food do not behave the same way. The United States Department of Agriculture says most shelf-stable foods are safe indefinitely. Canned goods can last for years if the can stays in good condition. And boxed foods like cereal or pasta are often safe past a best-by date, even if quality fades. That is a huge difference from raw meat, leftovers, or temperature-abused dairy, where storage conditions matter more than any printed date. In the United States, 30 to 40% of the food supply goes uneaten. Confusion over date labels drives about 20% of consumer food waste. The Environmental Protection Agency says 66 million tons of wasted food were generated in homes, restaurants, and retail in 2019. About 60% of that went to landfills. And the United States Department of Agriculture says the average family of four loses at least $1,500 a year on food that never gets eaten. That means this tiny label problem is not tiny. It hits your wallet, your kitchen habits, and the landfill at the same time. Now for the reveal. If the current labels were already clear, California would not be rewriting them. Starting July 1st, 2026, California will ban consumer-facing sell-by dates on most foods and push a simpler split. Quality labels should use best if used by. Safety labels should use by. Retailers can still keep coded stock rotation dates, but shoppers are not supposed to see sell-by as the front-facing message anymore. That is about as close as you can get to a government saying, yeah, this wording has been confusing people. And that change matters, because it tells you the issue was never just careless shoppers. One of the biggest food markets in America is changing the label language itself. If words did not shape behavior, no one would bother rewriting them. So the next time you check your pantry, ask 3 questions before you throw anything out. What phrase is on the package? Is this shelf-stable or perishable? And is the package still in good condition? If it is cereal, pasta, crackers, rice, or an intact can, the date is often about peak quality, not automatic danger. If the can is bulging, leaking, rusted, or badly dented, toss it. If the food is suspicious, do not taste it just to test it. For refrigerated foods, be more careful. Keep the fridge at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Use storage guidance from FoodKeeper. Do not rely on smell alone, because the Food and Drug Administration warns food can make you sick even when it does not look, smell, or taste spoiled. Freezing can buy you time, because properly frozen food stays safe even though quality declines over time. And infant formula is the hard exception here. Follow the use by date. No freelancing. So who should fix this first? Brands? Choosing the words? The stores still putting stock rotation logic in front of shoppers? Regulators who let the language stay messy for so long? Or the rest of us for reading every date like a death sentence? Tell me which food you would stop throwing away after this, and which one you still would not touch.